It might be past 10 o'clock on the East Coast, but that doesn't stop the NFL from still giving us some insane breaking news. For the second offseason in a row, the Chicago Bears are adding a game-changing wide receiver, getting Keenan Allen from the Los Angeles Chargers for just a fourth-round pick. This is per Tom Pelissero and Jay Glazer over on Twitter. And this has massive implications for both the Chargers and for the Chicago Bears. But let's start with the team that's getting the wide receiver. The Bears are lining up their offense to give whoever the quarterback is going to be the best chance to succeed. However, there's likely two different scenarios here depending on who the quarterback is. If they decide to give Justin Fields another year and then use that first round pick to trade back, or even potentially draft Marvin Harrison Jr. still, giving him the best trio of wide receivers in the National Football League, it's going to be a lot of weapons for Justin Fields to be able and get the ball too. But how often and how consistent will he be able to? And don't forget, they added DeAndre Swift in the run game as well. One thing I know for sure, Justin Fields has to be a lock inside the top 10 quarterbacks if he ends up being the starter in Chicago. He's going to have plenty of weapons around him. He's going to be able to really find an open receiver at any point in time. But not only that, teams are going to have to stay steady in defending those wide receivers, which is going to give Justin Fields an awful lot of room to run, considering people will have to keep an eye on Swift as well. So if Justin Fields is the quarterback, absolutely, I think there's going to be some inconsistencies you will find in this offense, where there's just going to be some weeks where maybe they don't put up the best points possible, but then other weeks they'll have some pretty big games. Now, if it ends up being Caleb Williams or maybe one of the other quarterbacks, I could see the offensive production being a little bit more consistent across the board. I think we'll still see some guys putting up bigger weeks than others, but throwing the ball in that division is definitely going to end up being an option for the Bears quite a bit. And if Williams or whoever else can spread the ball around to those two plus Cole Kmet, you're going to see a pretty decent floor every single week. Just trying to decide which guy will hit will probably end up being the issue. Now, let's talk about Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, and Cole Kmet, the number 1, 2, and 3 pass catchers, however you want to see it, in this lineup. Because we know Justin Fields loves himself some Cole Kmet, but the volume will not be there with Keenan Allen and DJ Moore. And you also have to anticipate DJ Moore seeing a slight reduction in his volume from last year to this year now that we've added Keenan Allen. For me, if the starter is Justin Fields for the entire 17-game season, that's going to present some problems where they're just not going to throw the ball enough for us to find a high fantasy ceiling for everybody every single week. But if they end up going with a rookie quarterback like Caleb Williams, I do think they probably throw the ball a little bit more often with Williams than what they would with Justin Fields. So when you look at it this way, you really got to hope for like 130 to 150 targets for both Allen and DJ Moore. And then Cole Kmet seriously lacking behind that, but being a touchdown-dependent play at the tight end position, which if you score a touchdown in any given week as a tight end, you could still be a tight end one. It just would really limit the potential upside we could have seen from him this year. So for the Chicago Bears, we have to be really careful to not make a whole lot of assumptions right now, because a change at the quarterback position could absolutely change the potential ceiling and floor for all of these players. The only thing that I'm willing to bet on is Justin Fields having a huge year on the ground if he is the starting quarterback, with some inconsistencies in the passing game, but hopefully still a step forward from what we've gotten used to. Now, what about for the LA Chargers? This news sucks for Justin Herbert. Anybody that was hoping for a Justin Herbert breakout campaign or at least a bounce back from his sophomore year, I was one of them. This takes a hit. And it sounds like the Chargers asked Keenan Allen to take a pay cut and he said no. But they already released Mike Williams earlier in the week as well. So now you're down 2 of your top wide receivers with only Josh Palmer and Quentin Johnston really left. And Quentin Johnston was not good last year. At the tight end position, Gerald Everett is gone. So you really don't have that pass catching tight end anymore. And now you have to hope that either A, your run game really picks up with Gus Edwards to help keep the pressure off off of Justin Herbert, or B, the Chargers go grab somebody. But the Chargers at number 5 are absolutely in play for one of the top wide receivers in this draft. And who knows, maybe they'll take a shot at trying to move up in the draft to grab Marvin Harrison Jr. or potentially Malik Neighbors. But guys like Rome Odunze should also be there. And who knows, maybe they also decide to move back. Maybe somebody wants to come up. But I really feel like getting rid of Mike Williams and Keenan Allen, both within a couple of days of each other, means that the Chargers really aren't going to be looking at Brock Bowers, but they'll be looking at a wide receiver instead. And maybe moving back, getting some picks, and then taking a wide receiver in this very deep class later in the first round is exactly what they will end up doing. But in this instance, we're also going to have to just kind of hold off on what we're going to see from the Chargers. Now, I will say I would rather gamble on Josh Palmer being the wide receiver 1 in LA and not Quentin Johnston. But we'll keep an eye on that. We'll see what they do in the draft. Maybe they make a deal to bring in another wide receiver. Maybe they go and sign somebody that's still out there looking for a home. But a lot of the top guys have kind of already gone off the board. So they're going to be picking at scraps now. I'm not loving this for Justin Herbert. But yo, everybody needs to let me know their thoughts down in the comments below, because I think this, just like myself, caught a lot of people off guard. Yeah, I knew Keenan Allen being cut or traded was always going to be a possibility, but the Bears coming in for only a 4th round pick, I was not anticipating that. So let me know down in the comments below, and make sure you have the bell notifications turned on, because we have been dropping breaking news videos all week. This is my 11th breaking news video of the week. So we're getting you all up to date and giving you instant reactions as they happen. So turn on those bell notifications, subscribe to the channel, and Headliner Nation, I'll see you all in the next one, because you gotta bet there's gonna be more news before we know it.
Analytics off the chain, all the channels not the same. Jake and Kyle, you know the name. Headliner Nation.